Oh, let's do this. He is very excited. You guys all met Mr. Curtis earlier.
Yeah. He looks great.
He is he's a true movie star. He has starred in such motion pictures as Some Like It Hot, Spartacus, Sweet Smell of Success, The Defiant Ones, and he'll soon be seen on this very network in a television motion picture called Mafia Princess. Please welcome Tony Curtis. Nice to see you.
What a wonderful introduction. Can I come and do it again?
You can come in here anytime you like. Now, wait a minute. Hold it. I love it, Tony.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine.
You look terrific.
I feel wonderful.
You've great hair. You've always had great hair.
Always gave great hair.
Yeah. Now, you're from this area, from the Bronx originally?
Yes, no, Manhattan and the Bronx. I was born at the Flower Hospital on 105th Street.
The Flower Hospital?
Flower Hospital.
Uh-huh. Is it still there?
It's still there.
Yeah.
I lived all around the neighborhood here. Used to sell newspapers in front of Rockefeller Center.
When did you go into show business? Now, I know you were in the Navy and you were injured.
I was hurt in the Navy and then got out. I got over the wound.
I know. Tell me about the wound. Was it in action?
It was. I was in the submarine service in the Second World War, and loading a torpedo on the island of Guam. It snapped and hit 3 sailors, 2 other gentlemen and myself, killed one of us. And
so this is a nasty accident.
It was a nasty accident, but we got over it.
You
Just
recovered?
like we get over colds, and we recover from everything, don't we?
Well,
almost everything.
I guess unless, of course, you were the guy who died.
Yeah, right.
Then.
Right.
Okay, so now this is a great story. You're recuperating in the hospital.
Right.
Tell us what happens.
Well, we used to watch a lot of movies, and I liked a movie called Gunga Din, and we all used to play the different parts. They'd shut the sound off, and we'd do the dialogue.
Yeah, make up your own stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started being a newcomer in the hospital, I got to do the animal noises. But then as I progressed and got better, they let me play Cary Grant. So, hello, my darling, how are you doing? So you see, that's how I progressed in picture movies.
Now, now I heard a nurse came to you and said, "Here, I have a volume of Shakespeare's plays." Yes. Is that true?
Well, it is true. It gets a little fancied up a bit. You know?
A little bit, yeah.
Yes, a little bit.
But so then, what did you do? You recovered. You got back to the States.
Well, I got back to the States, and David, I found that the GI Bill of Rights made it possible for me to go to an acting school. They gave us college tuition or, any school that we wish.
Sure.
So I said I'd like to go to an acting school, and they gave me tuition to it, and they paid me $65 a month while I went to this school here in New York City, the New School of Social Research, it was called, and Piscata School of Acting.
The which school of acting?
Piscata was the name of the, Irwin Piscata.
Irwin Piscata.
Yes, and the good thing about that acting school was that I hung out with a lot of actors. If I'd gone to a butcher school, I'd hung out with butchers, and they'd say to me, "What flunking did you cut last week?" Can you tell me? But hanging out with actors, you heard about. Well, you watched each other, and that's the
you help each other learn.
Absolutely, it's not an acting class necessarily as much as
a social environment. They're your friends and the people you're working with,
the people you admire, the people you hate. Who's going to make it before you're going to make it, if you're going to make it at all?
Now, did you have anything to go to when you moved to California? Did you have a guarantee?
Well, I did already by that time. I'm really a privileged man. I was 22 when I got out of the Navy, and 18 months later, to the date, I was signed by Universal for a 7-year contract, and 18 months from that date, I started my first film.
Yeah. Now see, that's unbelievable. You tell that to somebody now, and they'll go into the next room and start packing because they think a year and a half in Hollywood, you get a
But
contract.
I was I got the contract while I was here in the city. I was working at the Cherry Lane Theater doing a play called Golden Boy, and someone saw me in the play, and I went off to California. That wasn't any big deal. You got to remember, when I went out to California, I started at $75 a week. And I had to join the Screen Actors Guild for $130, and they took that out of my salary. So
good.
I ended up with about $32 a week.
Yeah.
But it was okay because where Universal was off Lancashire Boulevard, and there was a trolley car from there to Hollywood, and I had a room that I rented for $50 a month, room and board with 7 other actors and actresses.
Oh my!
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. So now, but then you get what was the first feature that you were in? Well,
The first movie I ever made was a picture called Crisscross.
Crisscross,
with Burt Lancaster and Yvonne Nicole.
Then City Across the River.
Yes.
The Lady Gambles, Johnny Stool Pigeon.
Right.
Did you play? Were you the title role in it?
I was the stool pigeon.
Johnny Stool Pigeon. Sierra, I was a shoplifter.
I was the title. I was the title in Sierra. I was a shoplifter. Yes.
Was there a movie Johnny Dark?
Johnny Dark.
You played?
I played Johnnies in all these movies.
And then this is a lot of films.
A lot of. Let me see. Do you have that full list?
Yeah.
No, you don't. I've made over 125 movies.
Well, I was going to say there's probably about 50 here.
Yeah. Thanks.
I just saw The Great Race. I was in California. I just saw The Great Race again on TV. That's still a very funny film.
I love it. You know, movies are my life. I had a great compliment paid to me about a week and a half ago. I went to get a hot dog at a stand, and the girl looked up at me and said, "Tony, you're the movies."
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that nice?
That's very nice. And you know, I want to have a compliment for you. Maybe when I saw The Boston Strangler, I went out and got me one of those hats.
Yes.
And I wore it. I did. One of those blue, and I wore it all through college. Yeah, no, it was terrific.
That's hot. Nobody can turn you down with that hat on.
No, sir. Now that was a great film, though.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Outstanding movie.
Well, we'll do a commercial. We'll be back with Tony Curtis, folks. Glancing over this list, I guess people, you tend to forget some of the terrific films that is in this list. The Great Imposter.
Yes.
That was terrific. Some Like It Hot, of course, we mentioned. Spartacus, we mentioned that one. The List of Adrian Messenger. Sex and the Single Girl, on and on and on and on and on.
Trapeze was a really good movie.
Yeah, very nice.
Now,
let me ask you about your name. When did it become Tony Curtis? Because it originally was
Bernard Schwartz.
Schwartz.
That's what I was born here in New York City. My father was my parents were Hungarian Jews, came from Hungary. They lived 20 miles from each other in Hungary and never met each other, only until they came to New York, and they met at a Hungarian dinner party.
That's another great story. Your life has been a movie, really.
Only a movie.
Yeah. Okay, so now how do you get, who suggested Tony Curtis? Is that
the
a
name
studio
Curtis,
name?
The name Curtis comes from a Hungarian named Kertész, which was an uncle's name. And I took the name Anthony from a book called Anthony Adverse.
Yeah, there you
go.
go.
So I combined the two and ended up Tony Curtis.
Yeah, it's a great name.
I always wanted to end up Tony Curtis, and here I am.
You know, I've heard a couple of stories about you. One, of course, is the yonder through whatever that is.
Yes.
Now, is that true?
I said a line like that, but I blame Debbie Reynolds for that insidious joke.
Explain.
Yonder lies me father's castle.
Yeah.
I never said
Fada.
that.
It was
me father's castle. I said, yonder lies the castle of my father. And so it became a joke. When my father was alive, he was in California, and someone said to him, "How do you like the way your son said, yonder lies me father's castle?" And my father said, "I think that's very polite for a son to think of his father's castle." So he didn't get the joke.
But you never really were on film saying that. Okay. Now, the other story, I don't know even how to get into this. It has to do with, and if this is not true, just tell me and we'll go on to something else.
Yes.
You go to California.
Right.
You get lucky in a couple of ways.
Yes, right. Right.
And
so far, so good.
And your career is taken off your hot young property in a couple of ways. Now, you come back to the old neighborhood and you're passing a friend. You see a friend across the street and they say, "Hey, Bernie. Hey, Tony. Whomever. How's it going?" And you replied,
"I certainly did."
Oh, is that true? Now, can you just give us the name?
Well, I'll give you a few more details.
All right. Because I'm not sure people know what we're talking about.
They don't, and we won't let them know.
But it's a great story.
It is. It was Walter Matthau who was standing out in front of this President Theater of this dramatic workshop.
One of your early peers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I left the school, much to the chagrin of everybody, because I was the least most likely to get out of that place. Yeah. Get out of that hellhole. And there I did. And I go to California, and 4 months later, I'm back in New York City, getting ready to do a movie. and I've got a limousine, and I'm staying at the Sherry Netherland. I used to sell papers in front of it. Now I'm going there, staying there. So it was really an extraordinary experience for me. So the limousine picks me up, says, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Just drive me around." So I started getting in front with him. He said, "No, you sit in the back. I sit in the front." So I sat in the back, and I said, "Take me to the President Theater." And we come down the street, and there's Walter Matthau standing in front of the theater, a wintry, miserable day, coat pulled up, looking horrible. And I pull up the car, I don't say a word, and I roll down the window, and then I told him what I did to somebody in Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody he knew. And then I rolled up the window and drove away.
Now let me see. Can you, what if he says it and then we just take it out? Of course, that nobody at home gets to know what it is. No.
I don't care.
No, he don't.
You know, I would under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
But, you know,
you should put out a newsletter with this kind of information.
You know, yeah, right. But I feel that, David, it's very important if you're privy to certain situations. I think we've all experienced this. If you're privy to a extraordinary relationship, you don't talk about it. You know, it may get out, but if you do, the guards have a way of seeing to it that you don't have that kind of action anymore. So I would rather not say it.
But Tony, I think you're living proof to the contrary, though.
Well, more or less.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, but it's very funny, and it was just done in good
It was
fun.
done only with the joy and pleasure. I knew that would drive him into the ground even deeper. We have our ways to make them talk.
Now, we're going to take a look at. We have a clip. Did you bring a clip of this?
Yes,
no? Huh? What? Why wasn't I alerted? We don't have the clip.
We don't?
Anyway, let's mention it. It's on, what night is it on?
Sunday night.
Sunday night. It's called
at,
The Mafia.
9 o'clock, The Mafia Princess, about a gangster named Sam Giancana and his daughter. Susan Lucci plays the gangster, I play the daughter.
Right. Wait a minute, hold it here.
I play Sam Giancana, she plays my daughter. It's a unique film in the sense that you see this kind of a man's life and his relationship with his daughter. So it's really a relationship between a father and a daughter, between a man and a woman, if you will. So that's in essence.
Did you ever, or maybe you still do now, or at any time in your life, did you ever know people in organized crime?
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe again this is something better left unsaid.
Better left unsaid or undone.
Now, speaking of a relationship between a man and his daughter, we had your beautiful daughter, a very talented woman, on the show about 2 years ago, and I think she's steamed at us.
She's a lovely girl.
She's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Very talented.
I have 6 children, 4 daughters and 2 sons, 3 marriages, which is the only way to do it. Well, I don't want to be facetious, but Jamie is an actress.
Big star.
Very, very popular actress. And she's unique in the sense that of all the information she's been fed, she kind of put it all together for herself. You know, she never
had to figure it out.
She just figured it out for herself. She's, you know, she's very intelligent, and nobody can take credit for that, you know. She never came to me for advice. I couldn't give her any advice in that sense. It's a profession of non-advice.
But is she still steamed at us?
I'm sorry?
Is she is she still steamed at us? Mad at us?
Well, maybe.
Well, we'd love to have her back on the show.
Yeah, well,
so when you
listen, I don't know what happened with you two.
Well, I don't either. It just got, it did,
Did it get out of hand? No.
A little bit.
Oh, I don't.
But we didn't, it's a long story.
No, that's a long story.
Okay, it's the Mafia Princess. It's on Sunday night.
NBC. Channel 4, 9
Geez,
o'clock.
it's great to meet you. It's a real thrill to have you here, and I'm glad everything's continuing to be very successful
really,
for you.
so kind of you.
Nice
to
see you, Tony.
Thank you.
Have a good year. We'll be...